Flameo Hotman, and welcome to the InnerMedia podcast, where we are talking about an Avatar topic we've been waiting to talk about. But first, I'm Josh Karam, and with me, as always, is Ted Karam.
Hey, guys.
Now, it is time. We are talking about Sozin's Comet. We've been talking about this, I want to say, in every single InnerMedia podcast, so it's finally happening now that we're talking about
this
it.
This is a great one.
Which is going to be great. So, this is the final 4 episodes. Technically, this is focusing mostly on the second and the fourth part of it. Right now, spoiler alert. Please watch it. This is one of the greatest conclusions in all of television. Everything leads up to this moment perfectly. So please go out and watch it before you listen to this. Now, I am not going to do our Master Wizard and Jedi quote first. I'm going to save it for a little later because I think it just needs to hit a little harder. I want to do this in order. So, this episode first was written by the creators Michael DiMartino and Brian, and also Aaron Ehasz, who also does Dragon Prince, was the main writer on this episode. So amazing work by you guys, of course, is what we need to say. Now, Aang finds himself on this floating island in the middle of the water, right? In trance, he walks out to it before he has to go and face the Fire Lord. And he doesn't know where he is, and he's lost in many ways because everyone tells him you have to kill the Fire Lord.
Right. You have to end the Fire Lord.
Only way to solve this problem. Right. Because the Fire Lord will be super powerful, right, with Sozin's Comet and everything. So he has to kill the Fire Lord.
He's in such conflict over it. Because he doesn't want to.
And also, as an airbender, he was taught not to kill, right? Spiritual enlightenment.
Sacred. All life is sacred.
He's a vegetarian, as he says. So, while he's on this island, he's talking to the avatars, his past avatars. And some of them he's never even talked to, which is great. So he's trying to get wisdom from himself, if you will. So Roku is first. He's the closest one to him. So I want to go through all these things that the avatars give him, because I think each one is interesting, but there's a little bit of a problem with each of the conclusions, I guess. So Roku says, in my life, I tried to be disciplined and show restraint, but it backfired when Fire Lord Sozin took advantage of my restraint and mercy. And it goes through all these images of, like, Sozin betraying him after a while, and Roku not taking action against Sozin. If I had been more decisive and acted sooner, I could have stopped Sozin and stopped the war before it started. I offer you this wisdom, Aang. You must be decisive. Now, clearly, this is coming from someone who, because he died and Sozin kept on living, this whole problem that Aang is dealing with was started by Roku.
Right.
So you can understand that there's remorse in his past because he put this upon, I guess, himself, really, right? This is him dealing with it in the future. But I think I got to talk about, should I go through all of these before we discuss them, or what would you prefer?
Yeah, I mean, we could. It's all, so each avatar sharing their wisdom with Aang, each of the past avatars, and they're all good points of view. They're all very powerful messages for Aang. But they all originate from that individual avatar's life. And so you must be decisive. You must take action. So, but that's exactly what Avatar Roku wished he did.
Yes.
Okay, so go ahead and do it.
And that's also, I think this is the best way to do it then, right? Because Kyoshi had Chin the Conqueror, and he was terrorizing all their people. And in her mind, she killed Chin the Conqueror, even though Aang's like, but no, he was
fell.
sitting. Yeah, exactly. But no, in her mind, it's not any different, because in her conclusion, the only peace is justice. So I offer you this wisdom, Aang. Only justice will bring peace. And Roku probably looked at that saying, oh, that's what I should have done, because Kyoshi lived for, which is still amazing, we're like 200-something years in a mostly peaceful time. So justice by killing your enemy must be done. And then Kurik before her was like, I lived to 33 and I was living a carefree life, but you must actively shape your own destiny and the destiny of the world. So it's like, it's same with Roku, right? Take the action.
Take the action. And it's true, we do need to shape our own destiny. And so all these things have truth in them. And so, but each has a perspective that's still polarized. Now, we'll talk about that. Each has a perspective that doesn't come from the unity of being. And Aang ultimately becomes that answer. He becomes the unified avatar. In other words, he transcends that illusion of separation, where it's good versus evil, where it's the bad guys lose and the good guys win in the end. That's what I love about this this writing, this creation of this Avatar series. They take it, the creators take it beyond polarity, and that is rare in this world. That doesn't usually happen. Yeah. It's usually the good guys win in the end, or the reality. You see the reality of life. Everybody suffers and dies. Aang finds the solution, and talking to these avatars is good. We need to listen to those that have come before, listen to their wisdom, but he finds his own path, and that's what all of us need to do in life. That's what we're up against right now, reinventing ourselves.
So he's talking to all these avatars, and Yang Chen is the last avatar that he talks to, an air nomad like himself, so he feels that there will be common ground with her.
Right, because the air nomads told him about the sacredness of life, never take life. Yeah.
And being able to detach yourself and achieve spiritual enlightenment. So because this is the question I'll have for you. This is the big question. So Roku, Kyoshi, and Kurik are all about taking the action, right?
Right.
And it turns out Yang Chen is also the same way. But in the end, a problem still happens, right? If it's not Ko the Face Stealer, it's Chin the Conqueror. And if it's not Chin the Conqueror, it's Sozin. However, Yang Chen tells Aang that selfless duty calls you to sacrifice your own spiritual needs and do whatever it takes to protect the world. Now, in that case, what does it mean that your soul is bound to the physical plane and to the earth? Is it true that one can't reach spiritual enlightenment because they are duty bound to the earth itself?
Oh, that's not true. Again, this is another perspective from within the polarity, from being polarized and separate. You see, we want to snuff out evil, snuff out the bad, so that the good can rise and be free. But what we don't realize is every time we do that, we become that energy. We become it. And so, just like you said, Josh, you get rid of one evil tyrant, and what happens? Another one rises. It's not about that. And what the last Avatar, the Airbender, tells Aang is absolutely backwards. It's she says something about you have to forsake your spiritual enlightenment so that you can save the world.
Yeah, be your selfless sacrifice to the duty of the world.
Right, right. It's just the opposite. You must become the light. You must fulfill your spiritual destiny. You must awaken and know thyself, right? Because that's the light that shines forth, that illuminates the world. That's what the world needs. Not another, I'm going to fight and I'm going to give up my own, what I believe is true. See, this is what's so beautiful. Aang stays true to his heart the whole time. Says it doesn't. All his friends are telling me you need to kill the Fire Lord. All the avatars are telling him you need to do whatever it takes to end the Fire Lord, and he doesn't do it. He finds the path, the path least taken. He walks his own path, and he rises above the polarity.
Yes.
And as a result, an answer comes that's unprecedented. We won't talk about it yet, but that he didn't even know was there.
Yeah, so here's the big thing, right? This is what we're going to talk about the entire time now. So he can't figure it out, and at the end of Yang Chen's speech, he's like, I guess I have to kill the Fire Lord. But luckily enough, he's not in an island, right? He's on a lion turtle, which is pretty great. One of the water lion turtles. And he's like talking like, maybe you can give me the wisdom then. Right. Which I'll say, when I came to watching this for the first time, I'm like, I didn't see that coming at all. Like, I didn't see the wisdom coming from the lion turtle, which is one of the oldest beings.
An ancient being.
Exactly. Yeah. He was there since the beginning, as he says. So I just want to say, this is our master wizard and Jedi quote, everyone. So this is what we're taking home the whole way. I'm going to give you the first part here so we can start talking about all of this.
Yeah.
The true mind can weather all the lies and illusions without being lost. The true heart can tough the poison of hatred without being harmed. Since the beginninglessness of time, darkness thrives in the void, but always yields to purifying light.
Oh my God.
That
is the best. I find that to be the most empowering and profound statement possibly in all the Avatar series. And every one of these, I mean, these are animated cartoons for kids. Just really amazingly well done. But that quote there touches so profound. Let's break it down. Is that okay? What's the first part?
Let's go for it. Hold on
because
1 second.
It's just profound.
The true mind can weather all the lies and illusions without being lost.
What's the true mind? It's the real you. It's connected with source. It's so when what are all those lies? We've talked about them before in the Guru episode of Avatar. The lies we tell ourselves. Can weather all those, the self-talk, blah 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 blah, of the egoic separate entity that we think we are, which is a character of fiction. It's just that wave upon the ocean. The true mind. What is the true mind? It's universal mind. It's when we get beyond ourselves as an individual. Remember, we get present, we get still, and we connect with the whole. So we're not getting lost. See, the whole world is going that way, or everything's saying it should be this way, but we're listening. We're in tune with. We're tuned into, and we're feeling, and we're being inspired by, and we're being led by the universal mind of being. Yeah. Which is never lost, because it's not caught or trapped in the illusion of and the dance of polarity. It's the creator of that polarity.
Yeah. And if we remember, you brought up the Guru, right? In the end, Aang learns wisdom from a lot of people that you wouldn't think. And, I guess the Guru lived like 150 years, so he's been around for a while. But it's true, right? In the first chakra, he discussed that he's afraid of the Fire Lord. But in the sixth chakra, he realizes we're all the same.
We're all one. He knows he's one with the Fire Lord.
Yeah.
And so now, how easy it does it become, when the right hand realizes it's one connected, one body with the left hand, it doesn't attack anymore. It doesn't seek to. Why? Because it's no longer in fear. Yeah. It's no longer afraid. Why? Because it's unified with everything, and that's what those avatars were missing. Yeah. As enlightened as they weren't Aang. Yes. And that's the power of this whole episode. But that's just the first piece. Yes. What was the next one?
The true heart can tough the poison of hatred without being harmed.
So the true heart, that's the sacred heart of being. That's not a human heart. Yeah. That's a divine heart. That's so how can it tough or stand the criticism, the judgments, the attack, the hatred of others by realizing the truth, and that is it is untouchable. It is beyond the world, and it is one with all others. It's kind of like, when you have a child and you love the child. It's a little child, but the child's growing and it's coming into its own, and it says, "Mommy, or Daddy, I hate you. I don't like you. I don't love you." The parent knows that the child doesn't know what it's saying or doing. Right? And we forget that sometimes we act like children even when we're adults, right? And we don't really even know what we're doing. When is that? When those subconscious programs take over, we keep talking about in our True podcast, when they take over and we act, we react to life, and we're gone. There's nobody home anymore. And that's when the true heart knows. It doesn't take any of those attacks, those daggers, those knives. It doesn't take any of that personally, because it's above it.
Definitely. And the last part of this then is...
This is the best part.
Since beginningless time, darkness thrives in the void, but always yields to purifying light.
Since beginningless time, darkness thrives in the void, but always yields to purifying light. What is that? That is, remember, we've talked about this many times. That is the coming into being, the birth of darkness and light, the creative energies, the creative forces of yin and yang. They come in together, right? Yeah. So you can't have one without the other in this world. We can't have the positive without the negative. So there's no up without down. There's no left without right. There's no in without out. So they come together, and but the darkness that we a lot of times live in because of our vibration, because of our state of being, our thoughts and our feelings, emptiness, darkness, void, it's like a dark room. And when we all we need to do is turn on our light. That's the answer. That's the solution. And the darkness gives way. It always yields to the light of being. Why? Because the darkness in and of itself is simply ultimately the absence of light. So when we realize we don't look for the answer out there, you change, you be different, world be different, people be different, everything be different, so that I can feel good, so that I can be happy, so that I can be whole, so I can feel safe. No, be the light. Bring forth your inner light, and the darkness, the limitations, yield to your light.
Definitely. I mean, let's just take an example straight out of Avatar. That's why the show is really well written. In the first season, when they're at the North Pole, Zhao kills the light, right? He kills the moon of the two fish in the koi pond,
Yes,
Chui
I
and
remember
La.
that, yeah.
And the world is completely out of balance, right?
Yeah.
You need that light and dark right there in the simple example of the koi pond.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the world can't function without...
There's a balance. There's a harmony. Everything here is in motion. Everything, it's energy in motion. It's constantly moving. And what we looked, it's like a pendulum, and it swings to the left, and it swings to the right, and it swings back. And so we're looking to just have the good, and we're trying to push away or snuff out or defend ourselves against the bad. And it all depends on where your unique perspective, because a lot of times you look out and some people say that's good and other people say that's bad. So it's a perspective, it's a perception, it's the energy that we're projecting from within. It's how we're judging the situation. It's how we're judging ourselves outside of us in the mirror of life. So what we want to do is remember that we don't want to push away the negative. We want to just bring back the positive. You don't need to constantly say you're wrong, you're bad, and look at all that's negative and wrong in life. No. Bring your attention back home here and now, and remember, get your own house in order. Come home and realize that it's here and now where your thoughts and feelings tune you into the light of being, and choose that instead of constantly judging and looking at that which is the limitations of this phenomenal world. Everything is limited here, and calling it negative and bad. Come home to the wholeness of being, and you do that by bringing, as we've talked about so many times,
True.
the harmony of yin and yang, the harmony of these two energies within yourself, and that allows you to transcend them and realize your wholeness.
I mean, it's so rare that we have these moments in the media we consume that actually truly go into this idea of not good smiting evil or evil smiting good.
Right.
It is something different. We see it in Hero, we see it in Avatar, we see it in Return of the Jedi, but so rarely we get to see this moment of finding something new, finding the unprecedented response. So
going beyond.
Exactly. So the lion turtle actually, what I just want to mention, it's small, but he says, "Wait for him, he will come," which I just love because it's all meant to happen, right?
It's all meant to happen, and what this is all about is when you become the vibration. How many times we've said this over and over again? When you be the change, that's the energy you're sending out. That's the energy that comes back to you. In other words, you don't have to go and chase your dreams. You don't have to go and make things happen. You don't have to struggle. It comes to you. Why? Because it's a match to your energy.
Yeah.
So it's going to find you. And so the completion of this, what the lesson that the lion turtle is bringing forth in Aang, that what he's summoning is it will come to him. It will find him.
Yes. So at first, we're gonna flash forward through the fight here, okay?
Yeah.
So we can get to the end of the fight, which is the important part here. So Aang first asks the Fire Lord, like, don't do this. You don't have to do this. You have the power to stop this all right now. But Mark Hamill, aka Fire Lord Ozai, is consumed.
That's right. It's
weird
Hamill?
that we're getting into
God.
we're just talked about Return of the Jedi right there, and here's the Jedi himself playing the Dark Lord, basically. But Ozai's consumed with power. He doesn't think anything can stop him, and the only way to solve the problem is to destroy the rest of the world. Right, because they are the fire. He is the Phoenix King. Right. So Aang is first running away from the Fire Lord. He's being very passive in the way he fights. He has a chance to kill the Fire Lord, but he can't do it. He has a moment to take the lightning that the Fire Lord shoots at him, but he can't bring it about himself because he sees the Fire Lord as a child, and he can't do that. So he's running away. The Fire Lord keeps attacking him, and then eventually he gets hit in the right spot that he goes back into the Avatar state. His chakras get hit in such a way that reactivates it. And then Aang is aggressive towards the Fire Lord. He's attacking him relentlessly. And at the very end, when he's about to do the final strike at the Fire Lord, he can't do it. He comes back into himself. He doesn't allow the Avatar state to take over and rage, which is something we've been waiting for the whole time in the series. We see it a little bit in the Guru, right? And then, I guess I got to read the second half of this, right? So then the Fire Lord attacks Aang again. And then Aang, he waits for him. Like the Lion Turtle says, he waits for him. And then he begins to do the best part of this whole show. In the era before the Avatar, we bend not the elements, but the energy within ourselves. To bend another's energy, your own spirit must be unbendable. Energy bending. Let's talk.
Energy bending.
What?
Oh
I thought
God.
there's only 4 elements.
Yeah, they're fire, earth, air, water benders. Again, the quantum physics tells us everything is energy, right? We keep talking about this. So what Aang is learning here is getting in touch with and being true to the energy of his heart, the energy of his true being. And can we break those quotes down again? The first one? Yeah.
We can, yes.
So in the era before?
Yes, in the era before the Avatar, we bend not the elements, but the energy within ourselves.
I mean, that's just beautiful. That's the big takeaway here, right? So in the era before the Avatar, in ages past, we bent not the elements. We didn't go out there in the world and try and manipulate this. We realized, we're going to say it, the wisdom of Mahatma Gandhi.
Yeah.
We became the change. We bent the energy within ourselves. What is it? This is Neo in the Matrix, right?
Yeah.
Neo, right? Where Neo, don't try and bend the spoon. Don't try and bend the elements. Don't try and change all of those things out there. Why? Because they're just a reflection of what? You, your energy that you're sending out. Unconsciously, you don't realize it, but that's what's happening. Don't try and bend the spoon. Realize the truth. What truth?
Yeah.
There
They're
is
all energy.
it's all energy, right?
Because in that one moment, too, what's the difference between Aang and Ozai? They're just both beings of light that are emanating.
Two waves
nothing.
on the surface of the one ocean.
It's the same thing.
Same thing. So realizing unity. So you don't try and bend the spoon, Neo. You realize the truth. What truth? There is no spoon. And then you realize the only thing to bend, the only thing to change is yourself. Is your own energy, is your own vibration. We've been talking about this over and over again. It's so amazing how they've packaged this, the creators of Avatar, in this amazing, just, you've got the action, you've got the kung fu, the fighting, you've got the humor, you've got these deep spiritual truths for our children. It's just, hats off to these guys. This is just amazing. And the bottom line here is we didn't bend the elements. We knew better. We didn't try and change, because don't try and bend the spoon, because that's impossible. Whenever you're separate from the spoon, of course it's impossible. But when you realize the truth, you're not separate from the spoon, that the world out there is a reflection of you in here, and you realize the truth. Let me be the change I wish to see reflected in the mirror of life. I will change my own energy. I will bend myself.
Yeah. And then just second part right here. To bend another's energy, your own spirit must be unbendable, or you will be corrupted and destroyed. This is a pretty serious end to it, but I think we need to break it down in the way similar.
Yeah, the first part of that says, in order to bend another's energy, again, remember, there is no other. In order to bend another's energy, you're really realizing your unity with all being, like we talked about in the Guru.
Yeah.
Aang realizes when you're fully present, when you're here and now, when you're unified with all life, you're just bringing forth the truth. You're just bringing forth the light. You're just bringing forth the light. You're just bringing forth the love of being. So if you have the mind to bend another's energy, you're separate.
Yeah.
And there won't be, and what will happen is you will just become that energy. Yin, yang, darkness, light. In other words, you become that which you're attempting to snuff out or change or manipulate or control. You become it.
Yes.
So, and then what happens is, remember that the visual was awesome.
Yeah.
The visual of the two different colored lights.
Yes, exactly. His energy is being taken by the Fire Lord.
Right.
Because if he isn't unbendable, he's just the Fire Lord.
Right. And what does it mean to be unbendable? Whole. It just means to be absolute. It means to be your true self. It means to be the real you. So what is that? That's where you get beyond separation, and Aang got there in the very end. And it took because when he's still in fear, when he's still trying to control, when he's still in ego, when he's still in separation, which is all fear, which is all illusion, which is all when he's in separation, there's an I and a you, there's an us and a them, and there can't be that unit, there can't be that solution that comes from beyond it all. So when in the end, he becomes one with Ozai. He becomes one with his true self. He becomes one with all that is. And as a result, something unprecedented can happen.
Yeah.
He didn't even know he could do that. He didn't know he could take away the Fire Lord's ability to bend. And he, as an individual, did not do that. That came from a higher whole. That came from a higher purpose. That came from a higher truth. So he transcends himself, and in transcending himself, an unprecedented solution is able to flow.
Yeah.
An unprecedented answer.
He let go to the cosmic energy of the universe. He finally took all the teaching that he learned from the guru and such, and he became it. With the lion turtles helped to point it out as well, but he figured it out.
He figured it out by being it. Remember we did Doctor Strange not that long ago?
Yeah.
And how the Ancient One tells Stephen, you can't beat a river into submission. Yeah. You must surrender to its current in order to use its energy as your own. Well, go ahead and try and push and pull on a river. How can you? You can't.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah.
You have to merge with it. You have to become one with it. You have to unite with it.
Yeah.
And that's what Aang had to do. He had to become one with the universal. And only then was he unified with all of life. And then the intention of love, the intention of truth, the intention of wholeness can be brought forth through him.
Yeah.
In a way that he couldn't even imagine.
Yeah.
Silence your ego, Stephen, from the other movie of Doctor Strange, and your power will rise. Quiet that critic, that thinking, chattering mind of separation, those thoughts, unify with all of life. And now you're one. Now you can bring forth an answer.
Great. I want to feel some energy right now.
Yeah.
Get it going. Yeah. So let's do an active activity with you guys out there watching. We're just gonna feel some good energy right now.
Yeah.
So lead us through it.
Yeah. So we keep talking about the non-physical, energetic part of your being, right? What is that? And we're talking about when you tap into that, you're tapping into the whole, the larger, the bigger you, right? You go from an individual from a drop of water to the whole ocean, and that's where the magic happens. That's where the energy starts flowing again naturally and effortlessly. But we talk about it, but let's have a direct experience of it, because really that's nice. It's cool. But so here's what we're going to do. So we're going to ask you to participate here, and we're going to just feel the energy between our hands. So the way we do, we start up, heat up the hand, rub your hands together, really fast, get it going, and then 3 claps. And then fast again. You'll feel it. Okay, now relax. And you'll start to feel some heat or some tingling in your hands. Keep your hands separated just maybe a couple of inches, 3 inches or so apart. And just kind of move your hands around a little bit. You can close your eyes. And can you feel the tingling in your palms? Can you feel that?
Oh yeah.
And then bring your hands apart a little bit and then together a little bit. Can you feel like a little pressure? Can you feel like there's like a beam of energy or a beam of light between the palms of your hands? And just allow your full awareness to be here now, right here, right in your hands. And that tingling sensation. And you kind of move your hands around a little bit. You can kind of sense it moving and changing. And then go ahead and in your right hand, take your pointer finger and point it right to the center of your other palm, and just slowly trace out a circle. Do you feel that? Can you feel the circle? Go ahead and stop. And then trace a circle the other way. You're drawing an energy circle on the palm of your hand. Can you feel that?
It's great. It feels really good.
You feel that? Yeah. And then just stop. Go ahead one more time. Draw the circle the other way, nice and slow. Close your eyes and just feel the energy in that hand. Feel that circle being drawn. And this is the energy of your being. This is the force loop. So now just imagine that beam of energy comes back between your two hands and it grows. Just feel it growing. It's a beam of light, a beam of pure energy, just between your hands. You feel a slight pressure as you bring your hands together and just kind of allow that beam to intensify and expand. And all you're doing is paying attention to it, just paying attention to that energy. And this energy is the energy of your non-physical being. And your body is a river of energy. Everything that is just energy. So as you're sensing this energy, as you're feeling its flow, as you're feeling its presence, just sensing it. If there's a part of your body, a part of the energy field of your body that is in dysfunction or disease, maybe it's up around your eyes or your ears or something in your head, feeling a pain in your head, just you can bring your hands around your head, just gently and slowly, and just feel that energy. Feel the energy. Maybe you get headaches, or maybe something's bothering you in your throat, in your neck area, or maybe just in your chest or your lungs or your heart area, just feeling, or maybe it's down on your legs or your knees or whatever. Just you can bring your hands there and put your hands just around that part of your body, and imagine that beam of energy passing right through this energy. This is just energy, right? Everything is energy, physical. And as you're sensing it, you're just feeling and sensing the flow of the energy. That energy, what you begin to imagine, that the light's passing through your body, the energy's passing through your body, and it's just reharmonizing the energy in your body. It's just allowing that energy to flow freely. So the intention is not to try and affect a healing or to try and do anything that way, because that just comes from a negative vibration of separation. All you're doing is you're sensing energy, and you're feeling the ease and the natural flow of that energy. And as you do, you see that the energy in your body just starts flowing naturally and effortlessly, and it's that flowing of the energy just effortlessly and naturally that brings wholeness back, that allows well-being to flow again, to be here, allows harmony to come back again. See, because it's all resistance to this natural flow of energy. Remember we talked about this when we were talking about the avatar, the guru, and the chakras. Yeah. It's the resistance to the flow of energy that manifests as dysfunction, as dis-ease. It's our body that's not at ease. It's the flow of this energy that's not just flowing naturally. There's something resisting it. And when we resist when we resist the present moment, when those subconscious programs kick up and run. But when we can feel the energy and we just allow it to flow, we just sense it, we just feel it, it's flowing. And we're just focusing on our hands at first, just as a place to bring our attention, a focus, so you can begin to sense that energy. But you don't need to use your hands. You can just begin to feel that just connects you and begins maybe to feel the energy in your whole being. And realize that as the energy flows freely in your being, wholeness returns all on its own. Healing returns all on its own. Ideas and inspiration come all on their own. You become the answer. You become the solution. Without having to do anything outside. Just tune into that energy of your being. Just feel it, sense it, recognize it, allow it to flow. Know that all is well. And that what happens is as that energy starts flowing, all you're doing is that energy is your inner light. That energy is your inner being. It's casting away the darkness, dissolving the shadows. What are shadows? Resistance. How do they manifest? As disease, dysfunction. What does it do? It reveals what? The perfect pattern that's there. The divine you. There's a perfect pattern. That's a perfect whole being that you are. The true being that you are. And so as you begin to just sense the energy, feel the energy, direct the energy, now you know the energy is what? Real. We've been talking about it a lot. But if we don't know it's real, if we don't have an awareness of it, we don't realize that just through our intention, just through our thoughts, just through our emotions, just through that energy that we set into motion and we direct it with our intention, that we can affect and influence our bodies and our world.
So the big question is, because when you do this physically, right, you feel good immediately because feeling and remembering the energy that flows in you, energy is good. You know, I mean, you just feel good knowing the energy that flows through you.
It brings you into harmony with yourself.
In the moment, for all of these people, in every situation, in movie and real life, when they're in this emotional state, like Aang is facing this man whose grandfather's responsible for killing everyone he knew. He's slaughtering the Earth Nation. He's hurt his friends numerous times, and he's caused pain for so long, for so many people.
Right.
In that moment, Aang is able to wait and listen to the Earth, bringing back earthbending.
Be still.
And take this action. Be
and
still
know.
And know the answer. How within seconds, not even seconds, it's
Instantly.
like instantaneously,
Yes.
how does Aang do... I'm there. You know what I mean? That's
great.
That's the thing that takes the most
practice.
work with this.
It's all practice. And again, Aang has always been practicing his bending, air bending, fire bending, water bending. We become better at anything we practice. So this is a great question, Josh. So what you want to do is play with this. Just play with this. Just play with beginning to sense your energy, sense the energy around living things, sense the energy in your body and in the body, in your the family members. You know, if someone's having a headache, maybe you can just, put some, and just the intention, again, isn't to affect a healing. It's not to make something happen. It's just to be present and transcend the illusion of separation, transcend the illusion of resistance where? In yourself. This is all about bending. Energy bending, again, is about being the change, about bending yourself. It's about overcoming those beliefs. It's about overcoming that subconscious programming. And what? Being present. What happens as you're present and you're just sensing and you're feeling? Feel the force. Don't overthink it, Anakin, right? You're feeling it. You're sensing it. What happens? Something happens all on its own. Something. Aang didn't do that. That happened. That came from some other place. That came from some higher thing. So what happens is as you're practicing it and as you feel it, it'll become more real for you. Now all of a sudden you become conscious of the movement of the energy in you, your inner energy, as you're thinking and as you're doing certain things. So now all of a sudden you're more and more present, and that's what his whole training was. And being the avatar, becoming the avatar, the guru of your own life, is being present. It's presence training. It's becoming aware. Now you can be more in this moment and trusting. There's nothing wrong with planning and figuring things out, using the rational, logical mind to know how we're going to plan it. But you don't want to plan your whole life out because you'll miss the magic. You won't allow yourself to be surprised because you'll be too focused on trying to get somewhere. Remember when we were talking about the Soul movie, Disney Soul, and how we can get obsessed with trying to get somewhere and obsessed with trying to make something happen? Yeah. When we begin to be present and we sense this energy, this non-physical part of ourselves, we begin to trust more. We begin to open more. We begin to get beyond our limitations of ourself more. And now we're willing to be surprised. We become childlike. Aang's like the child, right? Yeah. We become childlike. Aang did something with energy bending that he didn't even know it was possible. And that's what you can do in your life. As you start to become present, as you become more aware of this energetic part of you, you begin to direct it with your intention and with your feelings, with your emotion. You realize that your intention, your thoughts and feelings are energy, and that you can actually direct. Stephen, you can actually, once you've merged with this energy in Doctor Strange, you can direct its flow. Aang becomes that. He embodies that. The same is true with you. Now, you don't have to make things happen so much. You can now become an opening through which the solutions can come from beyond you.
Perfect. Great. We did it. We did Sozin's comment. We did it. I'm so happy that we did this. Thank you for this conversation that we finally got to do.
We finally got to it. Josh, this is just amazing. The way the creators of Avatar, The Last Airbender, put this together. and how beautiful. It's not, it's done in such a way that it's not trying to teach this stuff.
Yes.
It's just it's action and it's venture and it's humor and it's all the way and it was made for our kids, but it hooked us adults too. A lot of
definitely.
Parents that were watching.
It also did the thing where when you were watching it back in the day, like there was a bunch of me and my friends or my friends and I that were trying to figure out like how's Aang gonna defeat the Fire Lord, because that's the entire thing the show is leading up to.
Right.
The whole show since like the 8th episode of the first season says, Aang, you will defeat the Fire Lord before Sozin's comet. That's the entire point of it. So the whole thing is leading up to the moment where, Aang's gonna finally smite the Fire Lord down.
Punch, bang, boom. Right?
But that's not what happens.
That's beautiful. So absolutely beautiful. That's what our world needs right now.
Yeah.
Because we're reinventing ourselves. And the stuff, the old systems are falling away. The old ways of being are falling away. We need to become the unprecedented selves.
Yeah.
That's what's being called forth here. And when we feel that energy, when we're in touch with our own energy of our own being, we get into that flow. We're in the zone.
Yeah.
We're in the magic of life. And that's where you begin to realize that that energetic part of you has influence over this energetic universe. And you become the energy bender you were always meant to be.
Perfect. Well, I want to just say this to you guys right now. This is not the only Avatar topic we want to talk about. So thank you for listening to InnerMedia. If you like this, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And also make sure to leave comments about Avatar stuff or other movie stuff you want to hear us talk about. Don't worry, there's more Avatar stuff and Korra stuff that will be on the way. I've been writing a lot of stuff out, so we're going to be doing it. But if you want to learn more about everything The Real You has to offer, this time this camera will be working, I hope. So there it is, therealyou.net. I'll also write it down somewhere here, but go there to check out everything. We also have Jumping on Water now available on The Real You, correct?
Yeah. The book is available again. Yeah.
So check it out. Go there and check it out and see everything that we have to offer. Go to the email, subscribe, and everything like that. And thank you guys for listening. Flameo to all of you. And Aang did save the world, and we can all save the world. Yeah. So thank you guys so much.
Thanks, guys.